Most people set up email in Outlook and pick IMAP or POP3 without actually knowing what they just agreed to. And that choice, that one dropdown, determines whether your emails exist in one place or everywhere, whether you can access them offline, and what happens to your inbox if you ever switch devices. In this video, I'm going to walk you through adding any email account to Outlook on Windows 11, step by step, and I'm going to explain the protocol question properly so you actually make the right choice. There's also a reference table at the end covering server settings for the most common email providers, so you don't have to dig through support pages. Whether you're adding a Gmail account, a Yahoo account, a work email, or a custom domain, the process in Outlook on Windows 11 follows the same core flow. We'll cover automatic setup for accounts that support it and manual setup for those that don't, which is where most people run into trouble. And before we touch the settings, I want to spend 2 minutes on something most tutorials skip entirely: what IMAP and POP3 actually are, and why it matters before you type a single server address. Let's start with the question nobody answers clearly. When you connect an email account to a mail client like Outlook, you're choosing how that mail client retrieves your messages from the server. That's it. And there are two main protocols for doing that: IMAP and POP3. IMAP keeps your emails on the server and syncs them to your device. When you open Outlook, it fetches the current state of your mailbox from the server. When you read a message, that read status syncs across every device connected to that account. Delete something on your laptop, it disappears on your phone too. IMAP is essentially a live mirror of your mailbox. For almost everyone in 2026, this is what you want. POP3 works differently. It downloads your emails from the server to your device, and by default, deletes them from the server after downloading. Once they're on your machine, they're only there. Open a different email app or set up Outlook on another computer, those emails won't be there. POP3 is from an era when people had one computer and wanted local storage. Today, its main use case is very specific. You want a pure local archive on a single machine, fully independent of any server, with zero sync overhead. The short version: if you check email on more than one device, and most people do, use IMAP. If you have a specific reason to want a local-only archive on one machine, and you understand what that means, use POP3. Throughout this tutorial, I'll be using IMAP, but I'll show you exactly where to switch if you need POP3. One more thing before setup: SMTP. You'll see this when configuring outgoing mail. SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, is the protocol used to send email. IMAP and POP3 only handle receiving. When Outlook sends a message on your behalf, it uses SMTP to deliver it to the recipient's mail server. You'll need 3 things for any manual setup: your IMAP incoming server address, your SMTP outgoing server address, and the correct ports. I've got a reference table for all of that coming up. Open the Outlook app. In Windows 11, you will usually find it pinned to the taskbar. If it is not there, or you are using Windows 10, go to the search bar and type the word Outlook, and the app will appear. Just click on it to open it. If this is a fresh install, Outlook may launch directly into an account setup wizard, in which case, jump ahead to step 2. Otherwise, go to File, Settings, Accounts, then Add Account. You'll see a field asking for your email address. Type it in and click Continue button. For major providers like Gmail, Outlook.com, Yahoo, or iCloud, Outlook will attempt to auto-detect the settings. If it succeeds, you'll be redirected to a browser sign-in page. Just sign in and grant the permissions, and you're done. If automatic setup fails, which it will for most business emails, hosting-based emails, or custom domains, you'll need to enter the server settings manually. A new screen will appear called Select Your Email Provider with the following options: Microsoft 365, Exchange, Google, Yahoo, iCloud, and, at the bottom, IMAP and POP3 for everything else. Since we're doing manual setup, select IMAP. Now you'll see several fields requesting the following information: your email password, your incoming mail server details, including IMAP server address, port number, and secure connection type. Your outgoing mail details, including username and password, SMTP server address, port number, and secure connection type. I'll show you exactly where to find these in the reference table coming up, but for now, let's fill in the fields. First, incoming email data. 1. Enter your password or app-specific password if your provider uses two-factor authentication. 2. Enter your ISP's IMAP server address. 3. Enter port number 993. 4. Select the secure connection type as SSL, TLS. Second, outgoing email data. 1. Enter your full email address as the username. 2. Enter your password or app-specific password if your provider uses two-factor authentication. Enter your ISP's SMTP server address. Enter port number 465. Select the secure connection type as SSL, TLS. Click Continue button. Outlook will attempt to verify the settings. If everything is correct, you'll see a confirmation screen. Click Done, and your account will start syncing. Give it a minute to pull in your existing emails. The first sync can take a few seconds to a few minutes, depending on how large your inbox is. And there we go. If you've reached this screen and can already see messages starting to appear in your inbox, congratulations. Your email account has been connected successfully. What you're seeing right now is Outlook communicating directly with your mail server and synchronizing your messages automatically. From this point forward, you no longer need to keep opening webmail throughout the day just to check for new emails. Your inbox is now connected, synchronized, and ready to notify you the moment a new message arrives. A few seconds of setup, and you've just saved yourself countless manual email checks in the future. If the connection fails, Outlook will show an error. The most common causes are wrong server address, wrong port number, the password being incorrect, or, very commonly, your email provider requiring an app-specific password instead of your main password. This happens with Gmail, Yahoo, and iCloud when two-step verification is on. Here's the reference table. I'll attach it to this video so you can jump back to this whenever you need it. A few important notes on this table. For Gmail, you must enable IMAP access inside Gmail settings before Outlook can connect. Go to Gmail, Settings, see All Settings, Forwarding, and PBOP IMAP, and make sure IMAP is enabled. For Gmail and Yahoo, if your account has two-factor authentication on, and it should, you'll need an app-specific password, not your regular password. I mentioned this earlier. Go to your Google account's security settings. search for app passwords, generate one for Outlook, and use that. For ProtonMail, you need the ProtonMail Bridge application installed on Windows. ProtonMail uses end-to-end encryption, so the Bridge app acts as a local proxy between Outlook and the Proton servers. The port numbers shown are local ports, not Internet ports. For custom domain email hosted on cPanel, GoDaddy, Namecheap, Hostinger, SiteGround, replace yourdomain.com with your actual domain. Some hosts also provide a specific server host name, like server123 hostinger.com. Check your hosting control panel's email settings for the exact value. If you chose POP3 instead of IMAP, the incoming ports are 995 with SSL or 110 without. The SMTP settings remain the same. SMTP is always the outgoing protocol regardless of whether you're using IMAP or POP3 on the incoming side. That is it. No more switching between browser tabs. No more missed client notifications. Everything is right there in one central hub on your Windows 11 desktop. If this video saved you a headache today, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more straightforward tech fixes. If you're still getting an error code, drop it in the comments below, and I'll do my best to help you troubleshoot it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.